This is Matt Smith, and I am very excited to demo the new Power Dialer on the Virtual Mentor. This is something we've been working on in development for about a year now, and still going to do some ongoing development as well. Before I go over all the features and benefits and things of the Power Dialer, I first want to talk about, just for a minute here, why we even developed this. We've been using dialers, power dialers, for quite a while now. So I'm pretty familiar with what's out there, what they do. They're all fairly similar, but for the most part, they're very expensive. And when I'm talking about very expensive, the ones that we were using that really did what we needed them to do were anywhere from $135 to $165 per month. And for most people, that's just a little steep for a dialer. And they're made to accommodate a lot of different dialing situations, call centers to individuals. So because of that, there's so many variables. It's very difficult if you don't know what you're doing to get those types of things set up, to manage them. If there's issues, it's hard to figure out how to fix them. So kind of looking at all that, we just decided it really made a lot of sense to develop our own where we could offer it at a much more affordable price that everyone could afford, that was very simple to use, and also had some features that were exactly what we were looking for, because some of the stuff that I had in my head on what would be ideal, and we'll go into what those are in a minute, I've never seen in any dialer out there. So I'm really, really excited about this. I think it's going to have a tremendous impact on our business. I think it'd have an impact on your business as well. So you're probably looking at the screen when you started watching this video. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is select a package, and really the only difference in these packages is the number of minutes that's included. So this is more for a part-time agent, would be 1,000 minutes. Full-time agent is probably going to want to choose the professional that includes 2,000 minutes. They all include one caller ID. However, you can add as many as you want. And I'll go over why that would probably make a lot of sense to do that in a minute here. But this also allows you to choose any area code that you want in the country. So if you're ever doing travel trips or anything like that, it really can have an impact on how many people answer your phone calls if you call from a local number. So that's going to walk you through. It's going to make you choose a number during the checkout process. Once you've completed that, you're going to see this menu over here. And one of the first things you'll want to do is upload your leads. But before you do that, let me go over to lead scripts, because you got to assign a lead script to your leads that you're uploading. So there's a default of mortgage protection and final expense. These can be edited, or you can add additional ones. So it's very simple to edit this, to add anything you want. If you want to highlight certain areas or do whatever you want, you can put that in here. These things right here in brackets are actually the client's information. So when you upload your leads, it's going to import the client's name, the mortgage amount, the lender, anything that you're exporting out of the lead management software will be uploaded right into here. So if you ever want to modify that, just click on that little symbol there and choose whatever field you're wanting to input in there, and it'll insert it right into there, the script. So if you have a different script for different types of leads, like call-in leads, direct mail leads, final expense, that's where you can do that here. And they need to be uploaded separately. So your mortgage protection leads, what you'll do is you'll want to select what type of upload are you going to do. Basically what this is this quick upload it's going to recognize the names of the headers for when you're uploading, if you're uploading a symmetry lead. So if you're exporting it from Opt or the lead management site, then you would choose quick upload, and then it'll make it super fast to upload your leads. If you're uploading leads from a different source that have different names than the headers that come out of Opt, then you'll want to choose upload, which is more of a manual. And it will recognize certain headers, but there may be some where the header name is different, and you'll have to manually select which field so they're lined up properly. So I've already uploaded some leads, but just to show you real quick, you're going to choose your script. choose the file that you want to upload, and then you would just simply hit import, and all your leads would show up there. We've got caller ID down here. This is where you can add as many caller IDs as you want. And you put the call forwarding on. So if you do follow me, you can set that to forward to, let's say, a cell phone. If someone calls you back, if you're not logged into the system and you want them to be able to reach you, just click follow me, and it'll forward right to your phone if they ever try to call you. The reports, I'm not going to go into that. Well, I guess I'll go into that real quick, show you the reports. This is basically just going to show you your call history, how many dials you made on each particular day, or to each particular client. So this is a detailed report, so you can see who did you call. If you made, this is just a test account, so we're not calling leads to this yet, but if you were to have called, let's say, 100 people, it's going to give you all the people you dialed, how many times you called, answered, what happened, did you book an appointment. And then if you do summary report, this is more of a daily, weekly, monthly, annual. So if you want to know how many dials you made for the week, then you just do a weekly report, and you can see how many dials, contacts, appointments, callbacks, not interested, no contact, voicemail. So it really gives you a good overview on what your activity was. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into the dialer itself, which is up here. Click on Agent Login, and this is the dialer screen. So you'll notice on the left over here, you've got all the client's information that was exported out of Opt or whatever lead management site you're using. Right here is going to be a lot of the client's health information, or just some of their details that you're going to want to collect over the phone. These are fields that you just fill in. So as you're on the phone, and you can, all you got to do is hit the tab button, and it goes right down the list to makes it really fast to just go and put in the health information. Now this is just a field that's for really all the health information. So if they have heart issues, diabetes, whatever, you're going to put that in to this health issues. Then you got the script right here, and it's going to insert whatever names are being pulled in. So if they're not in Opt, like height, weight, that type of thing, it'll just show in brackets there. But everything else will be pulled right into the script itself. So it makes it very easy to just go through your script and read whatever is applicable to that person. So that's a pretty cool feature there. And these are just additional comments. So if you're asking them, what does your house look like, or you want to remind yourself that they talked about their last vacation, then you can put those comments right there. And then down here, you've got the call history for that particular person. So if you've called them 5 times and no answer, left message or whatever, you can see all that right here. And then your disposition, your call disposition is over here. So if it rings and they don't answer the phone, then you just hit no contact or not interested, or you set your appointment, or whatever the result of the call is. And I'll go over that in just a second. So when you're ready to make your calls, we use I'm going to go ahead and pull this over here. So this is a soft phone called X-Lite. This is a free soft phone, but just has to be installed. We've got a link once you sign up for your package on how to install that and get it all set up so it's connected. And then you've got two different types of calling features. One is a click to dial. So you simply just click on the number, and it would call the person. So I'm going to go ahead and I just clicked it, and now it's ringing. So I'm going to go ahead and hang up. It's actually, I've got all these set to my phone, so it's not going to call an actual client here. But so that's a click to dial. Makes it a lot easier than typing in the phone number every single time. But what's actually even better is an auto dial or a power dial. So let me go into the settings here, and there's a number of different settings you can use before you really start calling your leads. So you've got your time zones. What time zone is the client in that you're calling? What time zone are you in? What is your appointment block? How much time do you want to leave for your appointments? An hour, hour and a half, 2 hours? You can just set that there. And then client notifications. So as soon as you book your appointment, you can have an email that's triggered to go to that client with just introduction to who you are, symmetry, that type of thing, and then the day and time of their appointment. You can also do a reminder, okay, and that would go out however many hours before your appointment. So if you have an appointment that you schedule, let's say you talk to somebody and they say, oh, I can't meet tomorrow or Tuesday or whatever, but I could meet on Thursday, or I could meet next week. We're on vacation this week, but I can meet next week. And you want to have a reminder go out, you can have that happen. So it just reminds them, hey, in 4 hours is our appointment. So if you want both of those to go out, an immediate and 4 hours before the appointment, then you'd select both. If you don't want any, you can select none, or if you just want the immediate, that's fine too, whatever your preference is there. You always want to leave agent notification on immediate, because that's going to send you all the client's information as soon as you schedule that appointment. And it's going to look just like the client qualification form. So if you take the information from the client, you schedule the appointment, you're going to get an email immediately with the whole client qualification form with all the client's information, all their health information, everything you just collected, including the notes that you took. Now here's the auto dial feature that I was talking to you about. This is unique. I've never seen this feature in any dialer ever that I've seen, and that is the ability to set how many times do you want it to call the cell phone, the home phone, the work phone automatically. So we always have our policy with Symmetry that we recommend is that you call the cell phone at least 3 times, home phone 2 to 3 times, work phone, if they have it listed, I might call that 1 or 2 times after I've already called these. So you could set that to 3 if you wanted to, or 5, whatever you want to do. Here's another unique feature, and that is the ability to auto switch your caller ID. So a lot of us will we'll get a Google Voice number, or we'll get another phone number, and we'll call through all of our leads with one phone number, and then we'll call through them again with a Google Voice number, for example, so that they don't see the same number calling twice. And you'll tend to get more people to pick up that way, especially if you're calling them a lot. And so what we've done here is we just said, well, why don't we just automatically do that? So if you call through, let's say you call through 20 leads, 30 leads, and you want to call through them again, then you can set this to auto switch, and it'll auto rotate the caller ID. So if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 caller IDs, every time it reloads that lead, it'll automatically switch the caller ID and call them again. So that is a really, really helpful and unique feature. I've never seen that anywhere. Voice drop. If there's a certain voicemail you want to leave, which we don't really recommend leaving voicemails, but we do sometimes what's called a soft appointment, where if you're going to be in the area tomorrow and you notice that that person's been called 20 or 30 or 40 times and they're just not going to answer their phone, then you can leave, a soft appointment voicemail, for example, saying, we got the letter in the mail, we're trying to get the information out to you. I'm going to be in your area tomorrow between 5 and 9 p.m. to drop by the information. If you have any conflicts with that, just give me a call back. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. So you never mention the person's name or anything like that. It's just a generic voicemail. You can go ahead and record that. And that's done back on that original settings page that I came from. And then you can select that one from one of these menus. So I'll get to where you would do that, but basically what happens when you do the voice drop is it's leaving that voicemail while it's simultaneously calling your next lead. So you just result that call as a voice drop, it goes to the next lead. It's calling that person while it's leaving the voicemail for the last person. So it's super efficient, doesn't take any time to leave voicemails anymore. So that's great. Now this auto dialing delay, this is something because let's say that you just resulted the call from the last lead and maybe you want 5 seconds, 10 seconds or whatever to look over that next lead before it starts to dial them. Okay, because keep in mind, this is a power dialer. This is going to keep you on pace. It's going to automatically dial them when you go to that next lead. So you can select a delay there if you want to have just a few seconds to kind of look over that lead before it calls them. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then over here on global filters, this allows you to filter the leads that you're calling. So if you only want to call a certain county, okay, so maybe you're calling for Monday appointments or Tuesday appointments. So you only want to call a certain county or a certain city, or maybe only a certain county that was uploaded during a certain time. So maybe you don't want to call leads that you uploaded 2 months ago or 3 months ago. You just want to call the leads you've uploaded in the last 30 days from a specific county. You can apply those filters here, hit submit, and those are the only filters that you'll be calling that'll pop up there. It also only it pulls up the most recently uploaded leads. So if you uploaded leads this week, it's going to call through those first, and then it's going to get to the leads that you haven't gotten any closure on after that. So let me pretend that I'm scheduling an appointment here. So if I schedule the appointment, it's going to show you, what time is that appointment. Let's say it's at 6 p.m. This is an hour and a half, because you'll notice on the last settings page, I said my average appointment is an hour and a half. I can make notes, whatever notes I want, and then I can click save, and that's going to trigger that email to the client confirming the appointment, and if you have that setting set there. And it's also going to email me all the client's information. Callbacks are nice if they're out of town or if they just can't meet right now and you want to schedule a time to call them back. So let's say they said, well, call me back, let's say Tuesday evening of next week or whatever. So I might select whatever it is, Tuesday the 13th at 7 p.m. What that's going to do is it's going to pull them out of the queue so that you're not calling them again until 7 p.m. on the 13th. At that point, it would put them right at the top of the queue. You make any notes saying, I spoke to someone, they were on vacation, they asked me to call them back. And next time you log in after that day and time, it's going to pop up with those comments so that you can call them back. This is that voice drop feature here I was telling you about. So you'll notice I have the auto dial feature set instead of the click to dial. So these are grayed out. I can't call them now based on that because it's got auto dial. So now I've set it to auto dial the cell phone 3 times, the home phone 3 times, and the work phone once. So if I click auto dial, then it is now going to start calling. So I don't know if you can hear my cell phone ringing, but it is ringing. And what it's going to do is it's going to call it for 20 seconds. And then it's going to hang up. And okay, it just hung up. And now it's calling it again. Calling my cell phone again. I'm going to go ahead and hang up, but it's going to keep doing that until it calls the cell phone 3 times, the home phone once, and the work phone once. And then it's going to pop up down here saying, 7 attempts, enter disposition or whatever. And then you got to disposition your call. I'm going to run through an update that was just made to the dialer. The auto dial feature specifically, you'll notice up here there's some new buttons that weren't on the demo video that we recorded. Before it just said start and stop dialer, and there was a problem with that because when you click stop, what that's doing is it's actually logging you out of the system as the agent. It does not necessarily mean that the system wasn't calling the client. It was just logging you out to be able to speak to the client. So that obviously wasn't going to be working. So they have, our developers have added a few new buttons here. So I want to run through exactly how to use this properly. The first thing you want to notice is down here, is your extension active? Is the agent logged in? And once you are logged in, then you don't need to use the controls on this soft phone anymore. You actually just use the controls up here. So if you need to hang up, you can push the hang up button. If you need to start, now again, you don't want to push stop until you are done making dials for the day and you're logging out of the system, you're done. It doesn't mean stop for a second and then pick back up. So we added a pause button if you want to pause the dialer or resume, but you don't click stop until you're done making dials. So the first thing when you log into the dialer after choosing auto dial, it's going to first ring to your soft phone, and you want to make sure that this button says AA, that's auto answer, is on there. What's happening is the system actually calls the X-Lite phone and connects you, and then it will dial the customer. So that auto answer needs to be on. Now I've got music that plays when it's connected. I don't think everyone has that on their dialer, but mine has music. So I'm gonna, when I hit play, see, I've already, let me stop this because I actually, before I started this video, it connected it and I clicked the red hang up button, and what that did is it actually disconnected me from the system. So just because I push start doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to talk. So now that I've done that, I'm going to refresh the screen, and it should automatically ring to this phone, which it just did. Now I'm connected. So if I hit start, then it is now calling through the lead. Now I've got my cell phone listed, so it's calling my cell phone. And like I mentioned on the last part of the video, it's ringing for 20 seconds and then going to voicemail. So I'm going to pause this, and I actually am going to disconnect so we don't keep listening to that music. But keep in mind, like I said, don't mess with the buttons on here while you're dialing, because just by me hanging up, I'm now out of the system again. I'm logged out. So I've got to refresh my browser to start it again to make dials. So keep that in mind as you're using this, that if you're having issues like that, refresh, it should reconnect, and then you can start dialing the leads again. Now, let's say that that was an appointment that I booked. Oh, and by the way, I want to explain why we did 20 seconds. Typically, we found that voicemails pick up the phone after 25 to 26 seconds. And on your minutes, which are up here, you get 1,000 minutes, 2,000 minutes a month. That only counts if the call is connected. So if it's ringing, that doesn't count as a minute. So rather than go to voicemail and then hang up, that would count as a minute every single time. So we said, well, let's just do 20 seconds and then hang up. Then it never counts as a minute. So the only time that a minute counts is when someone actually picks up the phone. Which is pretty cool. So your 1,000 minutes, 2,000 minutes, that should last you quite a while. So as I'm on the phone, I'm going to, first I'm going to get their email because I want them to get that reminder. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's, let's say it's that email. And then I'm going to, I'm going to get all their information and say 5'9", 170 pounds, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to schedule the appointment. Let's say it's for 7 p.m. And I'm going to say, Red House, flag and yard. I'm going to click save. So notice the auto dial is still on. So it is automatically, I think I set it to 5 seconds. Give me 5 seconds to look over the lead. Then it will automatically start calling me. And I'm going to go ahead and stop it because I don't want to keep calling myself. So that is pretty much the dialer. Let me just check my email real quick. So you'll notice this is the form that I received. And it's looks a little offline, but that's because it's a wide screen. When you print this off, it actually looks really nice, and it's got all the client information, everything you collected over the phone. Any health issues would come up right here. Any notes, comments right here. Everything's right there that you just collected. It also sent an email to the client, and it just says, I'm the underwriter for the Whitesburg area. That was the city that he's in. And the appointment's for February 13 at 7 p.m. Please allow 30 to 45 minutes on either side of the appointment. Blah, 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 blah. I look forward to seeing you then. Now, notice here, there's no phone number, but there should be. So on your profile, if you go back to the dialer itself, or excuse me, the virtual mentor, then you want to click on profile and put in a number right here. So that's pretty much the dialer. I can't think of any other features that I need to go over right now, but I do have a quick story. If you want to stay watching this, we just started using this live. We've been testing it for the last several months, but we went live about a week ago, and I had an agent that is very good at sales, but he just could not seem to book his appointments. And he said the number one reason was because he just couldn't get them on the phone. And so he has not submitted hardly any business. He's just getting started with us, but he tested this dialer, and he had it set to call the cell phone 3 times and the home phone 3 times and the work phone once. And he had people answering the phone, and it was from a local number. He was calling from his cell phone, was not a local number. And so he just wasn't getting people to answer the phone. The week that he was using this dialer, which he's still using, he's only been using it since this last weekend, and he's already written over $11,000 this week in business. So maybe it's beginner's luck, but he had 8 appointments when before he couldn't get more than 2 or 3. So I think this could make a very big impact, and I'm excited to see what effects it has on your business and Symmetry overall. So thanks guys for watching. Hope you sign up, and I hope you like it. Thanks a lot.